Hello friends, how are you? Today the topic is strategies of learning. You see, this is a very important topic not only for psychology students, but even for a common student, a common man who wants to learn something, he wants to gain the knowledge. For we people, the students of psychology, it is important from our syllabus and examination point of view, okay. But even you can talk to your friends, you can suggest to your friends that how strategies, which strategies they can apply for the better learning. Now, if I ask you what is learning? Learning means learning is a relatively permanent change in behavior due to past experience or exercise. The experiences which I am getting from my past experience or exercise, and that change is relatively permanent. When I say relatively, I mean most of the time. Some people say learning is absolutely permanent change in behavior. If learning is absolute permanent change, then there would have been no forgetting at all, but we forget the things. So, what strategies we should apply for the better learning we will talk about today. I want to make the grapes, but sometimes it seems that no matter how hard I study, the test question turn out to be hard and confusing, and I end up not doing very well. Is there some tricks to get good memory? Sometimes we learn, we think that we will do this, we will make this, but after reading we get confused that what is the conclusion, how to draw the conclusion, what are the inferences, how I will think make it. So, is there any tricks by which we can retain these things in our memory? Because if there is a learning, that will go to your memory, if in memory you can reproduce. Whenever a situation comes, we can use that. Many students would probably say that their grades are not what they want them to be. They may make the efforts, but they still don't seem to be able to achieve the higher grades that they wish they could earn. Sometimes every student, not sometimes, every student thinks that I should get this grade 80%, 90%, A grade, A plus, but we are not able to get it. Then what are the reasons? We are studying, we are regular in the class, we are reading the books, material is with us, but why we are not able to achieve what we want to? It means there must be somewhere lacuna between learning and your memory. So, what strategy we should adopt for this, we will talk about. Which learning strategy should be adapted is a big question. We learn many different kind of things during our lives, and using only one method of learning probably is not going to work for everyone. May has the preference for particular strategy or may find it useful to use a combination of different methods. Now, what I want to say, when we are talking about the learning strategies, I can't say that this is the only one strategy which will be applicable to all the persons. It is not universal. It will depend from person to person, it will depend from task to task, the difficulty, the length, the learner's ability, what not. So, we can't say that there are absolute one or two strategies. Why? Because we have the individual differences. If there are no individual difference, we are all equal, absolutely same in intelligence in everything, then I will tell you one strategy that will be used. If we have the same size of the body, then there is no need of any tailor. Then I will make the stitch the cloths of different colors, designs and put it in a showroom, go and purchase it. But there are individual differences in the body makeup, so we need a tailor. Similarly, because of individual differences, we need different methods to make the things learn and to recall in our memory. So, what should be the strategies of learning? Now, there are 4 learning strategies which are briefly presented here. Number 1, verbal study method. Number 2, visual learning method. Number 3, auditory learning method. Number 4, action learning method. As I have told you, there is no universal one method for all. It varies from one person to person. Some people, they learn more in the light music. Some people say, no, when I study, when I learn, there must be complete pin drop silence. Now, these are individual differences. So, we will talk about these strategies in brief. Verbal study method. This method involves the use of words expressed either through writing or speaking. For instance, after you read about you might put it into your own words, or you might write out more details. Following strategies may be used in this method. Use flashcards or identify the main points or the key terms. Verbal study. You see, if I say learning material, we can divide learning material into two parts. One is verbal, the second is musculature, kinesthetic. When I learn a game, when I learn for driving a car, my muscles are involved, verbal material is not involved. If I am reading history, I am reading a book of psychology, then verbal material is involved. So, this we are talking about the verbal study method. So, first thing is that whatever you learn, keep in your mind that what are the key points which you want to retain in the brain. You can prepare flashcards, prepare the flashcards, verbal study method, flashcard, or identify main or the key terms, main of flash points, that this is, for example, definition of learning we just I have talked about. Relatively permanent change, flashcard. Second, past experience. Third, exercise, clear. So, what was learning? Relatively permanent change in behavior due to past experience or exercise. Now, flashcards are before you. So, that will catch your attraction and you will able to learn it. Next strategy in the verbal may be write out or recite key information in whole sentences or phrases in your own words. You ever learn? Take a notebook. In your own language, you translate that material again. When you are translating that material into your language, it means you have caught the soul of the material. If you have caught the soul of the material, then it will go nowhere, it will always be in your memory. So, that is why I usually say you must recite means in your mind, or you just make sentences and write down on the copy. When looking at a diagram, write out description. Now, you are learning a diagram. So, when you are learning a diagram, you this is this, this is this. Now, you make its description. For example, you are studying the neuron, the cells which make the brain. Clear? Now, neurons, you see, you are looking a picture. Now, in the neuron, there is a cell, and then there are small threads like that, which get information from the sensory organ. They are called dendrites. So, look at the picture, right, these threads are dendrites. Then if you go to the last part of the neuron, now there are some brushes like things and they go in the muscles, that is terminal brush. That means the information received by the dendrites passes through the cell, clear, passes through the cell and moves through the axon to the terminal brush, which gives instruction to the muscle to act. So, when you are looking at a picture, make your sentences. When looking at a diagram, write out description I have talked about. Use sticky notes to remind yourself of key terms and information and put them in the notebook, text or e-text on a mirror you use frequently. Simple. Practice spelling words or repeating facts to be remembered. Whatever spelling you are learning, what are the facts you are learning, repeat it, because the number of times I am repeating, the information will go to my brain. I have seen a person for the first time. If he meets after 10 days, 15 days, I may not be able to recognize that gentleman. But if I have seen that person from last 15 days continuously, that means his image is in my eyes, I will say that you are Mr. X. Why a teacher is able to recognize his class students? Because he has seen their faces number of times. So, practice spelling words or repeating facts to be remembered. Rewrite things for your memory. Then all the things you apply and rewrite what you have learned, it will go to in your memory, and you may be able to know that what is learned and what is forgotten. Moreover, when you are rewriting, it is again repeated, it is again repeated, again repetition. So, this method is called as the verbal study method. The second method is called visual learning method. This method involves use of pictures or images. In this method, one can create charts, diagrams and figures to master the content. The first material was verbal, that means the words I, me, learning, learning, that was a verbal. Now, visual means charts, diagrams, figures. Sometimes we say we make the figures intelligence, two types, crystallized and the fluid. Then again further subdivide, these are the charts, clear. Periodic table is a chart. So, you make the figures the charts. Now, how to learn this material? Following strategies may be used in this method. Make flashcards and pictures or diagrams to add recall of the key concepts. After seeing, you make the picture yourself, and it will be a aid. Aid means help, a cue that what is the concept. Make diagrams or the charts and sum up the information in tables. You make a diagram and take the paper, and then you make a table, or you write down the information. Well, this was the axon, then this was the cell, this was the dendrite, then cell, then axon, in between myelin sheath, it is a terminal brush, it is the muscles. Diagram you have seen. Now, write down the different parts of the diagram. Use different colors to highlight different sections of information and text or notes. You see, even when you read the book, the point which is very crucial important, we highlight with a green marker, that is highlighting. Use different colors to highlight different sections of information and text or notes, because when you will highlight with a marker, it will create isolation effect. I have marked, I have highlighted the second line, what was prior to that and what was after to that. I tell you simply, in a school, the students are standing in a queue. You are not able to recall that who is number 40, roll number 40th, 41, 42. But on a birthday, we permit the students for their home dress. Now, one student is in a fancy dress, is his birthday. Now, that while standing in the queue will work as an isolation. So, well, he has this dress, Mr. X birthday, who is standing behind and who is standing front, it will automatically come to your mind. So, you can highlight the different points with the colors. Visualize diagram and figures, letters and words to remember key facts. Visualize in your mind and then draw it. Use the interactive figures and tables. Now, this is a table, this is a figure, clear. Now, what is the relation between figure and the table? Interaction, that will help you in remembering. Redraw things from your memory. Once you have kept in your memory, now take a copy, have a board and try to make that figure, that chart again. So, it will be in your memory. The third method is called auditory learning method. First was verbal, the second was visual, now this is auditory. Listening to a recording of a lecture is one of the method. Following strategies may be used in this method. You see, when I say auditory learning method, it means we will learn the material by audition. My ears will listen, will not hear. There is a difference between listening and hearing. Hearing is simply vibration of the eardrum, and when you give meaning to that vibration, it becomes listening. So, whatever you are uttering, whatever you are listening, try to give it the meaning, clear. So, listening to a recording of a lecture is one of the method. Following strategies may be used in this method. Join or form a study group or find the study partner so that you can discuss concept and ideas. Form a group, 3, 4, 5 people are the like-minded people. Not you are all studious, don't include a notorious boy who is not interested in the studies. Make 4, 5 group of the like-minded people and discuss the things. When you are discussing, it will go to your ears and you will listen and you will learn the material. While studying, speak out loud or into digital recorder that you can play back later. You see, you might have seen the small kids. When they learn, they not learn in the mind, they speak A for apple, B for boy. When they are creating the sounds, it goes into their memory. So, if we are finding difficulty to learn, when you are reading a book, you speak it loudly, or now it is a modern technology, e-learning. You can record the lecture and listen that. Now, what happened in corona? There were most of the time there were online classes, not offline. In the offline, what is the problem? I am speaking only once, but now you have my lecture on the online system. You can listen 10 times, you can listen 20 times. So, either by e-recording or by simply loudly speaking, you can make it. Make speeches. You prepare your speech. Speech means what you have to speak it out, what is expected from you. Record the lecture with permission. Take notes on the lectures sparingly, using the recording to full in the part that you might have missed. Sometime when a teacher or a person is giving lecture, you can record. But ethics says recording is not permissible unless until you have got a permission from that person. I have come to your university, I have come to your place to deliver a lecture. You want to record my lecture. Now, you should take my permission because I have copyright on my lecture, that is my copyright. So, if you are doing recording the lecture, then take the permission, sir, can we record that lecture? Sir will say, how does it matter to me? You record, and if you have recorded, you can listen number of times. Even I tell you, when we take the interviews clinically to diagnose the patients, that we will talk about when we will come to the clinical psychology somewhere in the other semesters. When we take the interviews what? Verbal communication. Sometimes you forget that what reply has been given by the patient or the client. So, we want to record the interview. If we record, we should take the permission of the patient. Sir, can I record? Because if you have not taken the permission and he has come to know, he will become suspicious and he will never tell you the truth. So, if you are recording, take the permission. Read notes or text material into digital recorder or get to study material recorded and playback while exercising, while learning something new, state or explain the information into your own words out loud or to a study partner. Now, you have learned your study partner, your friend, you say, okay, now I will speak, you listen, and when you will speak, I will listen. That means exchange between on a smaller group between the two. When he is speaking, you are listening, it is going to your brain. When you are speaking, he is listening. So, even this method you can also use. Use musical rhythms as memory aids or put information to a rhythm or tune. You prepare a rhythmic pattern if it is possible and you play that record and it will go to your memory. This auditory learning method will be very useful for those who are visually impaired, because a visually impaired person, it is difficult for him to read the books. They have the braille system, okay, but even if we adopt this auditory, they listen the lectures and it goes into their memory. So, that was the third method. Fourth method is action learning method. There are people who use the motion of their own bodies to help them remember the key information. Following strategies may be used. Sit near the front of your classroom. If online, give yourself room to work around while studying, read out loud. That means action learning method, while learning, the actions may be involved. Why? When we are asking the child, the person for the rhymes, we say, twinkle, twinkle, little star, our eyebrows go up. How I wonder what you are, my hands are there. Up above, you are looking at the sky, this is the action. Study with a friend, then while exercising, listening to recording of important information available with you, write out key concept or on a large board or a poster, prepare the posters, make 3-dimensional model that will help you. go to off-campus areas such as museum or historical site to gain information. Why we take our students to a museum? It is not the picnic. Our purpose is to make the child learn the historical fact. When you will go in the museum and see the things, that action will come into your mind. So, this was the action learning method. Time management strategies. You know, we have everything, but our time management is very poor. So, try to make the time management when you learn. I usually say time is money. Why I say time is money? Yesterday was a cancelled check. Tomorrow is a promissory note. Today is ready cash, use it. Yesterday has gone, you can't do anything. You don't know what will happen tomorrow, whether I will survive or not, I don't know. But today is ready cash. This moment I am studying, I am reading, this time I must utilize. So, today is ready cash, use it. To make learning strategies meaningful and result oriented, there must be time management strategies to avoid procrastination. What is procrastination? Tendency for delay. I will do tomorrow. No, I will read in the evening, I will do in the night. This is procrastination. So, if you have that time management strategy, then you will able to avoid the procrastination. Some of the strategies to defeat procrastinations are briefly presented. Number 1, make up a map of your long term goal. If you are starting here, what are the paths you need to make to get to your ultimate goal? You prepare a chart. I am to learn this. Whether this method will save the time, or if I go this method, it will increase my time. Now, that is I have only 1 hour of the study. Now, if I have adopted the short route, I will be able to achieve the goal, and if I have adopted a long goal, in 1 hour I will not be able to reach the goal. So, you map your plan. Use a calendar to keep traces of class times, time devoted to study, time for writing paper, social engagement, etc. Okay? You have make a timetable. I will study for 2 hours, I will play for half hour for the social engagement, TV, etc., newspaper, etc. 1 hour writing. Whatever I learned, I will try to write on the paper. So, you can make a calendar that will help you to avoid the procrastination. If your schedule fall apart, don't panic. Just start again the next day. Suppose the timetable which you have made, you are not able to follow for one reason or the other. Some guest has come, there is a disturbance, something good or bad happens in the family, your mood is disturbed, or you are very happy, you have forgotten to study. Don't be panicky. Then I have lost my 1 day. Doesn't matter, but start right from the next day. Right from the next day, because which has gone. Yesterday was a cancelled check. Don't cry on the yesterday. That will not come back. So, if your schedule part apart, don't panic. Just start again the next day. Build in some play time. Use play time as reward for getting task done. You have some play time that will give you entertainment, stress remover, clear, that will fresh your mood, fresh your mind. So, that timetable you should make. So, any strategy you adopt, you must have the time management strategies also. Now, sometimes the learning material which we learn is very lengthy, very difficult, and we are not able to learn that. And if we are not able to learn that, we say it is not possible for me to learn it. You close the book and throw it. Once this thing comes your mind, it will develop a negative attitude towards the studies, and you will run away from the books. Don't do it. So, what to do for this? If material is lengthy and difficult, it will take more time to learn in comparison to short and easy material. In such condition, use the following methods. The first method is whole versus part method. Whole means if the task is of your interest, you can learn whole, no problem. Your ability is more, no problem. But the task is not my interest. I can't concentrate for 1 hour, 2 hours. the task is difficult, divide the material into parts. You have 20 words to learn, clear? So, 5 words, next 5 words, next 5 words and next 5 words, clear? Now, when I am dividing the material, the 5 words, it will be easily learned. When it is learned, the motivation will come in you. Who says I can't learn? Your motivation will go up. Then next 5, then next 5 and then the next 5. So, if you learn by dividing the material, it is called part method, and if you learn without dividing it, it is called as the whole method. But a problem emerges sometimes in the part method. In the part method, when you are to write in the examination or write anywhere, you will have to combine the parts, part A, part B, part C, part D. The last word of the part 1 will have to be connected by the first word of the part 2. So, sometime it becomes a new method. So, we can adopt another method. You divide it, no problem. Part A, part B. Now, combine A plus B and learn. Then C, A plus B you have learned, then C. It is called as a progressive method. So, use this strategy you can do whole versus part. The second is mass versus distributed. Mass means when you are learning the material one at a time continuously, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour, it is mass method. If you divide the time, okay, for 2 hours I will study, then there will be gap, then 2 hours, then there will be gap, 2 hours, then there will be gap. It will be called as the distributed method. If I say in whole, and I listen this line carefully, in whole versus part method, the material which was to be learned was divided. In mass versus distributed, material is not divided, time is divided. I am not dividing the material, I am dividing the time. So, you will say, sir, how much time gap we should keep? It depends on person to person, person to person. Your ability, your strength, material. Some people get freshened in 10 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes. You see, you might have seen cricket. In the cricket, you see the tea break or the whatever it is, that you know when the drinks interval comes in the ground, it is just I think after 1.5 hours, 2 hours in the match. Because in cricket, the bowler is doing maximum exercise and the batsman is doing the maximum exercise. The fielder, where the ball is not coming for a long time, he is keeping rest, no fatigue. If you see the Wimbledon, this lawn tennis, after every 2 points, the players get rest of 2 minutes, they sit, they eat banana or take some energy drinks, because after 2 minutes, 2 points, they are exhausted. So, it will depend, the gap will depend on the nature of task, the type of the person you are doing. So, when you feel in the learning, you can use whole versus part method and mass versus distributed method. So, using these strategies, you can make your learning effective, and when the learning will become effective, it will go in the memory and we will able to reproduce whenever it is required. So, this was all about learning strategies.